Hey, this is Alexander from Haunting TV, and I'm ranking the 4 Mad Max films from 4th to 1st. Yes, there are 4 films in the series, and I'm going to be ranking them because there can only be one number one favorite out of all of them. And I'm going to tell you what mine is in a moment. Now, I'm ranking them because of the fact that they're interesting and they're all cool, but as a filmmaker, I can break them down a little bit differently about what's better with story, which one's better with action, which better in production design, visuals, characters, overall film, all that kind of cool stuff. So my 4th in the series, let's get really right into it, is the original Mad Max. Now the original 3 films actually starred Mel Gibson as Mad Max. Now you have Tom Hardy as Mad Max. And so in the first film, which is 4th in my list, you get Mad Max established as a cop. And he has a family, and it's kind of like not a dystopian world. It actually looks kind of normal. And they just say, oh, it's somewhere in a near, not too distant future. And you don't really get to see a dystopian world. It's just more about there's cops. The cops are kind of crazy. You get the biker gangs. They're kind of crazy. And that's really more why the way the world is. And Mad Max has his family, and this is kind of where he's established. This is where his tragedy starts, and this is where his journey starts and his trajectory away from this place because of his tragedy. Now, the reason why I rank it 4th is the pacing is a lot slower than any of the other films, and it's interesting, but it really isn't as actiony. It's not as dystopian. The production design isn't as interesting. The characters are cool, but it's just a lot slower of a film. And you have these cops that are friends of Max, and he's on the force, and they're cool and they're crazy, but they're really not super established, and they're not as super necessary to establish who Max is. And it's just more of a tool to kind of push him along in his story. And they just kind of get thrown away halfway through the film, and then Max is on his own, and all hell breaks loose, and now this tragedy happens, and then Max is on the road and keeps going. And that's really the trajectory throughout the other films. He's all kind of running away from his past. Now, number 3 in the list is actually the second film in the series, which is Mad Max 2, The Road Warrior. Now, Mad Max 2 is pretty cool because they established the world. You get this little newsreel that shows these 2 factions were warring, and they made a nuclear bomb go off, and then they used up all the petrol, and there's civil war, and now let's start. Everything's desert, everything's broken, and Mad Max is on the run, and he's scavenging. And what happens all of the films is Mad Max doesn't want to stop. It doesn't want to help, but something with karma or whatever makes him stop and has to do things for these people and help them in order to survive himself. It's kind of this weird, this weird karma thing that happens. It's not just things happen for a reason, for no reason. Things do happen for a reason with Max. And it's interesting, but again, you have these background characters that are not super established. The bad guy is not the most interesting in the series. It's cool, I love it, but it's not my favorite. Number 2 in the list is the newest film, Mad Max Fury Road. And all the films are directed or produced and directed by George Miller. Not all of them are directed. I think the 3rd film isn't directed by George Miller, but they're all cool. And Fury Road is awesome, and it's action-packed, and it's gorgeous, and I love it. It's one of my favorite road movies ever. But the bad guy, Morton Joe, isn't as well established as the other bad guys. What I mean is, you don't get to see him get down and dirty and actually do dirty deeds himself. You see that he owns girls. He is kind of a dictator of sorts, but he's just not really a nasty guy. You don't get to see him do nasty things. He's just nasty looking. And to me, that's not really a well-established bad guy. And Mad Max, I love all the characters, but Mad Max in the newest film isn't as flushed out as a character. You don't really get to even care about him or the other characters until the 3rd act, where things go awry and they have to make these last-ditch effort to kind of make things work. And then you get to really feel for them and feel like there's some danger and they could die or whatever. Even though there is a lot of danger around the world, I just didn't really connect with the characters as well in the newest film until the 3rd act. I did connect with them. I liked them towards the end. I would love to see another one, but not my favorite. My number 1 film in the series is actually the 3rd film in the series, which is Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome is fantastic. From the production design, the story, the world, the characters, everything is a character. The world is a character. The people are characters. Mad Max is a character, the bad guys are characters. They all feel a lot more tangible. This feels like a real, fully flushed out, post-apocalyptic, dystopian world out of all the films, the most dystopian and the most established. And you really are in the ground. You're on the ground in the nitty-gritty, in the middle of the cities. We're around all these people and seeing all this dystopia, seeing that people are drinking fallout water and there's just people have boils and crazy things are going on, and people are trying to reestablish a new city, a new society, and trying to build things up from the mess. And I love the film because it just has so much personality. If you love the film Hook with Robin Williams, you kind of get a little bit of a vibe of that with the Lost Boy type characters that are in this film. And it's just fun. It's just really fun. It's really cool looking. It's fun. It's action-packed. It's got a great score. It's got music. It's got amazing characters, amazing vehicles, really cool looking, a lot of fun, and the most fun out of all of the films. It is my favorite film. So what do you think? What is your favorite film? How would you rank the 4 Mad Max films? Did you really know there were 4 Mad Max films before I told you? Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. But they're amazing. You should watch all of them. Tell me which one you like. Did you see the newest Mad Max film? Which of these 4 films would you like to go see now that I've talked about them? Tell me. Let's discuss. Thank you very much for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you in your nightmares.